Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at part 2 of our 7 micro video series. In the first video we took a look at hit and run micro, and I highly recommend you check that one out before watching this video. The reason for that is stop micro is just a variation of the hit and run micro, and there's one key difference that makes it, a different form of micro, and I'm about to show you. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Alright, so to understand the stop micro, you first have to understand the stop command. So if we have a group of units here, and if you're, moving with them, there's only two ways to make them stop moving. So you can change direction by clicking anywhere. But as far as stop moving, you have to either click a unit, so right-click a unit to attack, or you can use the stop command, which is this one. And there they stop instantly. So the idea with the stop command is instead of clicking on their unit to stop them and then shoot, you click the stop command and then they'll automatically shoot whatever unit is in range. So just to give an idea of how this is going to work, we're going to imagine there's a unit here and we're trying to dodge the arrows like we do in the hit and run micro, but instead of right clicking it, we're just clicking stop. We're going to move and then click stop. So we move while they're reloading, you guys know this, and we click stop to fire at the units. Obviously right now there isn't any, we're going to imagine that there is. And we just keep repeating this process, and the only difference is instead of right clicking, you're clicking stop. So what does this actually do for the game? So when you click stop, the closest units or any unit that's in range is going to fire against the closest unit of the enemy. However, since you have the units kind of spread out, not all your units are standing on the same tile, this guy's closest unit might be different from this guy's closest unit, for example. And so what happens is that sometimes your group of units fires against two targets at once. All right. Now, if you compare that to our prior knowledge of micro, which is the hit and run, we only right-click one unit, and therefore all of our arrows fall on that one unit. So that's all good because it's really accurate. But when you have a lot of crossbows like 20 or 25, you don't want all your arrows to fall on one unit because then something called overkill happens, where some of the arrows are actually just not doing anything. They're flying after the unit's already dead. So with stop micro, if you've got plenty of crossbows, what happens is that you're able to actually kill two units sometimes. It also saves you time of clicking, and you can just hit stop, which is a lot faster, and it's a little bit easier to control. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this plays out when we're actually fighting. So if you guys remember from the hit and run video, we've won this first fight with 12 crossbows remaining, and I actually expect that number to remain similar in this video because stop micro is not necessarily better than hit and run micro, but sometimes in higher number situations it can actually get you a little bit more profit. So I think we might get a similar number, but hopefully a couple more crosses will survive. So I'm pushing this group of micro. I have my stop micro as C, and if I can just stop, shoot, and keep running, that will happen. So right now they're only hitting one unit, but I'm expecting them to hit multiple units very soon. There you go, I just got a double kill. And so it really varies, but as you can see, it's a lot easier than clicking a single unit. You one while you reload, you stop, you shoot. Notice how they're shooting two different units very often. And sometimes they will shoot the same unit, but in that case, they shot two. There you go. And you keep microing around. There you go. I'm messing that up, that's my fault. But otherwise, it's pretty flawless. And there you go. So last video ended with 12, and this time we're actually ending with 15 crossbows. Granted, some of them are weak, but again, not only are you living or winning the fight with more army left, but you're also hitting multiple units down at the same time. So if the fights are only very short exchanges, you're able to maybe kill two units when if he's doing the hit and run method, he'll only kill one because he's right clicking it manually. Versus the knights, I find it's not as effective, just because you're not going to be getting these double kills. There's not as much overkill on the knights. However, the same concept applies. We're going to just do the hit and run, but instead of right clicking, we're just going to click stop. Versus knights is probably a preference because, as you can see, I'm not really hitting two different knights. It's more like I'm just not having to right click them. And as you can see, the damage is actually spreading onto multiple knights, which is not always ideal. There you go. So as you guys can tell, it's looking okay so far. But the hit and run version was much more effective because I was landing all my shots on the same night. Notice how a couple of them are weak there, but none of them are actually dying. See that? And that's just because I'm not targeting the same knight every time. So this is the flaws in the stop micro. While it was great in the archer micro, it wasn't that good in the knight micro as we're seeing right now. Backing up and I'm hitting. But notice how a lot of them are weak, but none of them are dying. And you can keep doing this, but at a certain point you're gonna have to give it up. Your army will die. And as you guys can see, all these weak knights, it's not effective if I can't kill them. And so the conclusion is the stop micro versus knights is actually less effective than the hit and run method. But however, the stop micro versus the crossbows is more effective than the hit and run method. Now let's take a look at versus the mangonels. I imagine not much will change because versus mangonels, the best form of micro will be the split micro, which we're going to show in a later video. So same concept, I'm going to run while they're reloading, dodge the mangonel shot, click stop, and run away. As you guys can see, this is very similar to the first video. In fact, nothing much changes with the mangonel. You can use either stop or the hit and run micro, and it'll be the same. And there you have it. So I didn't lose any units in this fight, but that's just because I microed a bit better than last video. However, these two results were quite conclusive. I'm fairly positive that hit and run micro is better against knights because you're able to focus down the weak knights and actually kill them. And versus the crossbows, the stop micro is more effective because you're actually able to get those double kills and reduce that overkill that we talked about. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys understood a little bit more about stop micro and just the stop command in general. I hope this helps you in your own gameplays when to what micro to use versus knights and what micro to use against crossbows. And that's pretty much all for this video. I hope to see you guys tomorrow for the part 3. And yeah, that's it. Take care and bye for now.